Oh, check it out. We have the trigger here from BoBoInnovations. Now, this is not the first innovation from these guys, or first blaster or hop-up. Check this out right here. They did the Tomcat kit, and you guys remember that? That is one of my favorite kits. Now, I know some of you guys are like, why'd you even do that to the Tomcat? Hey, it's like a 2-second fix. You can throw back in the drum if you want to. But the front prime that they do here, 100%, you gotta get that. It kind of cleans up a lot of the slop, and it also includes that back piece for the shoulder. So this is not the only thing from these guys, but they also do have, I believe it's called the Lame Boy. I wanted one of those, but it was kind of novelty for me, and so I was like, I'll hold off. But the trigger here, this thing is pretty cool. Again, I've had it about a week. I've been firing around. I think it's pretty nifty. It kind of reminds me of kind of like a Jolt and kind of a, I don't think it was called the Trigger Fire from Busby, whatever the name of that was. And I was like, it's kind of like a mixture of those, but still very, very cool. I want to show you guys how big this thing inside the hands is really quick. So if we look at it in the hands, I mean, it looks good. It's just a little chunky, I would say. You know, there's probably some parts on here they could definitely kind of take off and improve, but we'll talk about that later. But still, look at that. Very, very cool. Now, the size of this comparison to one of my XFKO knockouts, and you can see here the Nightingale, it's kind of like a mix between the both. The hand is about as big as a knockout, but the front stock is really, really small. It is quite smaller than what I am used to. So now that you guys have seen this kind of in the hands, you guys have seen kind of what it is comparison to the other blasters, just look at that thing, man. Whoo! It is awesome. It definitely has a unique firing mechanism. Basically, you're just using, you know, your trigger pull to shoot it. Now, I do have stuff in here. Whoo! Oh man, that is awesome. Sure, it might give you a little bit of fatigue, but I think if you use it enough, you shouldn't have any issues, especially I didn't. Now, mine did come with a holster, so you can put that on, clip it right into your holster, absolutely no problem, pull it out. So if you want to use this as a secondary, you can use it as a secondary, but again, the holster I think is awesome, but if you aren't, just don't do it. Now, what makes this thing super unique is you can use 2 different types of ammunition in this thing. So you can use your standard Ruby darts here from Dart Zone. These are classic. You can pick these up, you know, fairly easily. I did notice with some of the Worker Gen 3s, they tended to stick a little bit. I don't know if it's due to the foam or what it is. So I had no problems with these whatsoever. Or you can stick some of the 50 cal balls in there, which I thought was awesome. Now you can kind of somewhat do like an inline clip with these. So you could fit 2 balls in each cylinder, which would in turn give you 16 shots, or you can just go with the 8 in the cylinder and you have 8. Now, I did notice sometimes I would get like a double shot, so I would get both the balls to shoot out, but hey, sometimes, maybe 80% of the time, they did shoot individually. So in a small package, getting 15, 14 plus shots, whoo, is awesome. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering about how fast does this thing shoot. So you're getting about 65 to 60 FPS with either the balls or the darts. I was hoping the balls were gonna be a little bit quicker, but still, you could check it out right there. They're shooting about the same, which is respectable. I don't think it is too bad at all. I mean, if you had a shield and you were shooting whatever it is, you shouldn't have a problem shooting this thing. Now, sure, you can stick a ball and a dart in there to get like a shotgun type blast, but hey, you can experiment all you like. Now, when it kind of gets a little bit better weather outside, it is absolutely pouring. I'm gonna do more shooting videos on this, but let's take a quick look at the shooting video that I have here. I just shot this against the wall so you guys can kind of see. So if you see here, nothing too fancy. I have the 50 cal balls in here as well as the darts, and you can see me shooting there. Again, 65 FPS, nothing too crazy to kind of talk about. So again, go back and watch that if you want to watch it. We are going to do a separate video on shooting and try to figure out some cool combos of what you can put in here. As for the shooting on this particular blaster, again, the trigger pull it's not hard at all. It's actually pretty easy. And I think after I did it enough times, I was like, okay, this is pretty simple. But if you're just ripping off 8 shots really quick and it's the first time you did it, sure, you might be, my wrist might hurt a little bit. Loading this thing, pretty straightforward. You guys can kind of see here from the side. You can load in the darts, just slide them in. So scavenging darts should be pretty easy. I mean, pretty much you can just run around, load it from the side and have no issues. Just load it right in. And I could see me doing this super, super easy, just loading it and going, boom, right in there. Whew, so there you go. You know, there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to this thing because this thing is just, you know, kind of like your everyday blaster. It's not super performance, it's not super low performance, but it still is nice and easy to use, just like that. Gosh, I wish you guys could kind of see this. But again, we will do another shoot video. It does have a hop up front, which is kind of neat. It is particularly going to be used more with the balls than anything, or the 50 cal balls. But again, we're going to show that during the shooting video when we do a much longer video on this. You know, is it cool? Definitely cool. Does it perform? Sure, for what it is. I think there's a few things they could have done on this to make it a little bit more comfortable. I mean, I feel like I have bigger adult hands, and my hands kind of are squished kind of right in here. So if it were me, I probably would have filled in this gap up front here and taken the whole shroud away. Just taking the whole shroud away. That way you can really, you know, work your fingers when you're trying to shoot this thing. But other than that, maybe a little bit more ergo design or something like that, but it's still pretty cool. I've probably fired this thing 200-300 times, and I just like it. I just like it. It is very similar to, again, our XFKOs. You guys can check them out there, where, you know, this thing, of course, shoots about 120, or actually this shoots about 140. But man, just being able to plink with this thing, whew, it really, again, reminds me of even our XFB1s, our bungee blasters. Same concept, not terribly fast, not terribly crazy, but it's just kind of fun to plink around the house. So I would say go check it out if you guys haven't already. Yes, we will probably be selling these in our shop here soon. We're just waiting for some hardware and kind of a little bit of testing on this thing, because you never know with this thing, you know, where it might go, like a version 2 or something like that. But still, a fun little blaster nonetheless. No priming, no cocking, nothing like that. Just simply pull and shoot, and it shoots fairly well. So go check it out. I'll leave a link down in the descriptions. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, as always, thanks again, Fox fans.